Well, hello everyone. Well, today is part 3 of a 3-part series that we're doing on how you can help your teenager with anxiety, more specifically social anxiety. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about empowerment and some strategies and techniques around empowerment. So let's dive in and get started. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Jim White, and I'm an author, coach, and the founder of the Family Enrichment Academy. And today we're going to be talking about how you can help your teenager with social anxiety. Now, before we dive into the content today, I just wanted to encourage you to stick around to the end of the video today. I have a free resource for you. It's 10 questions you should never ask your teenager. These are like conversation killers. And if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you a little bit more about this resource and how you can get it. So anyway, on to our topic today. And again, this is part 3 of a 3-part series that we're doing on social anxiety. And today we're going to be talking about empowerment and how you can empower your teenager to help them to get through and be able to overcome this type of anxiety. And so here's where we'd start. First of all, I'm going to start with a couple of empowerment coaching strategies or techniques, if you will. The first 2 are around acknowledgement and validation. And what you do with these techniques is the premise is that if your teen's sharing something that's going on for them, they're sharing an experience that they have, you first need to acknowledge and validate what they're going through. And actually these 2 skills also do a great job of building connection as well, which is what the second video in this series was really about, building connection. So the process of acknowledging and validating, though, provides a foundation for building connection as well. And so the acknowledgement component is just to repeat back to them what they said. It's sort of like you're paraphrasing it back to them. And that lets them know that they've been heard. And then the validation component is all about expressing some compassion, if you will, or some understanding of what they're going through and the fact that they are going through it. Now, what you got to watch for here is a lot of times parents want to say to their teen, well, you shouldn't feel that way. And if you think about it, that invalidates what they're experiencing. And it's real for the teen. They're going through some experience. They're experiencing some anxiety around whatever the social setting is. Maybe they feel left out, or they feel like they don't fit in with their friends. That's real for them. And so we need to validate that. And it also creates an opportunity to kind of normalize the experience of anxiety as well. And to share the idea that, a lot of people go through this. And in fact, if you have some examples from your own life, it creates an opening where you could share some of that as well. So through that process, you acknowledge and validate what's going on for the teen. And again, those are coaching skills that we use quite often when we're working with a teenager, whatever the issue might be. And then the next skill that I would throw out, and this one is something that could really help to move the teen forward, is the idea of reframing. So reframing is the process of trying to shift perspective or maybe look at something from a different angle or a different perspective. And so whatever the situation is that the teen's going through, what you want to do is encourage them to reframe it. Questions like, how else could you look at this? But I want to throw in a couple of key components to this. Now, as they think about this situation, first of all, I would have you introduce the idea of compassion. And then secondly, introduce the idea of forgiveness. And then thirdly, the idea of gratitude. And the reason I bring that up is because if you think about it, anxiety is a fear-based experience, right? They're afraid, for example, that they don't fit in, or their friends don't like them, or somebody's picking on them. And it's a fear-based response. You feel that anxiety. And so the reason I bring up the idea of compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude is those are love-based experiences, and the 2 can't coexist. If the teen can begin to shift to be more compassionate, be more forgiving, and most importantly, be grateful, that'll help to crowd out, if you will, or push away that fear, because again, the love-based and the fear-based can't exist at the same time. So you need to introduce that idea. So instead of just saying, how else could you look at it? You could say, if you think about this particular situation from a compassionate perspective, what would it look like? You see how you can introduce that idea of compassion. And what I mean by here is, let's say the scenario is there are some friends that they feel sort of left out, like these friends are sort of shunning them a little bit. And the premise is, if I look from a compassionate mindset, what might be going on for that person or those group of people that maybe have them react in that negative way. Again, we're trying to express some compassion. And then you can see too where forgiveness thing comes in. How could I be forgiving of them? And then what can I be grateful for? So again, help your teen try to reframe whatever's going on for them from those perspectives, and that'll help to shift them from being fearful to being more in a love-based mindset. And when they're there, the anxiety will then start to go away. So just a little thought for you there, something that you can do, this whole idea of reframing as a way to shift that teen and have them start to sort of alleviate that experience of anxiety. So hopefully find that helpful. So back to what I mentioned earlier on, I do have those 10 questions you should never ask your teenager. Again, these are like conversation killers. And I also have 10 great questions. These are the conversation starters. And this is a free resource that's available to you. And I really encourage you to check it out. So there's a link down below. You can click on that link. It'll take you to the website. You can input your email address and download that resource. And I promise you, you start to work in these strategies and you'll start to see your teen open up for you, which is really what we want. Like I say, it's a common question I get is the teen just won't really open up. So anyway, that's available and there for you today. Now again, I'd like to just also say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And more importantly, thank you for your commitment to learn and grow as a parent. I mean, parenting is a journey, and we are all moving along this journey, and so we we have to have that growth mindset. So I just want to acknowledge you for having that growth mindset and taking the time to watch and grow and learn. So thanks again for that effort, and on behalf of your teenager, I would say thank you to you as well. So as always, it's truly an honor to be able to serve and support you as you move along that journey. And remember, until next time, that a change in perspective changes everything.